Today, you're going to forget something. A name, a word, why you walked into a room. You won't think twice, you'll just look it up. But for almost all of human history, there was nothing to look it up in. No books, no notes, no search bar. Whatever your people knew, their laws, their gods, their dead, lived in living heads, or nowhere. So how did ancient humans remember everything? The answer runs through a boy trained to carry an entire war in his mind, a king who refused a gift from a god, and a machine that is quietly running the whole experiment again. Right now, on you. We have done this before. We even wrote down how it ended. Start at a dinner party in ancient Athens. A man named Niceratus made a quiet confession, and a writer named Xenophon was in the room to catch it. His father wanted him to grow up good, Niceratus said, so he made him memorize all of Homer, the Iliad and the Odyssey, roughly 28,000 lines of poetry carried in one head. And here is the strange part. Niceratus was not famous. He was not a performer. He was not a genius. In his world, that was just an education. But Niceratus was the end of this story. To see the beginning, picture a boy chosen to carry the songs. He is 9, maybe 10, when the old singer picks him out. There are no books in his world, none. So for years, by the fire, he learns the pieces. Swift-footed Achilles, the wine-dark sea. Thousands of small phrases, polished smooth by generations of mouths. But he never memorizes a text, because there is no text. Each night he rebuilds the song live, weaving it from the pieces the way you weave a sentence. You still do this. Every sentence you speak is built fresh, from parts you carry, not recited. He just did it at the scale of a war. By 30, he can sing the whole siege of Troy, nearly 16,000 lines, with no script, no backup, no second copy anywhere in the world. Stop and feel the weight of that. You carry, what? A handful of phone numbers? He carried the entire memory of his people. And he is not the exception. You are. You are carrying less in your head than almost any human who ever lived, not because your brain got weaker, because you found somewhere else to put everything. And the singer was no one-off miracle. In 1935, a scholar named Milman Parry hauled a recording machine into the mountains of Bosnia, looking for singers of the old kind. He found a farmer named Avdo Međedović, who could not read. Over about a week, Avdo dictated a single epic from memory, more than 12,000 lines, the length of the Odyssey. Composed live as he went. His hardware was your hardware. He just ran it differently. And it gets stranger. Far to the east, priests carried their hymns by voice alone for well over 1,000 years. Their trick, chant each pair of words forwards, backwards, then forwards again, braiding the sounds, so an error in one direction snagged in the other. An error-detecting code, thousands of years before computers. And in Australia, researchers Patrick Nunn and Nicholas Reed collected stories told at 21 places along the coast. Stories describing drowned lands that geologists confirm were last dry more than 7,000 years ago. Among the oldest true stories on Earth, minds like the singers were the only libraries there were. And the system worked. Every fact you have ever just looked up, someone once had to carry like this. Then the marks arrive. One day a trader unrolls a strip of hide scratched with little signs, and a boy who knows the trick reads a dead man's words straight off it. The crowd gasps. The singer doesn't. He has just seen his replacement. Because centuries later, in a dialogue called the Phaedrus, Plato put a story about this exact moment in the mouth of Socrates, an old tale out of Egypt. It is the closest thing we have to a warning label written at the moment of purchase. The god Theuth, inventor of number, geometry, even dice, comes to King Thamus with one more gift, letters, an elixir, he calls it, of memory and wisdom. But the king turns the gift over slowly. He is not impressed. This will not strengthen memory, he says. It will quietly replace it. People will trust the marks outside themselves and stop practicing the muscle within. You have made a remedy not for memory, but for reminding. And your students will seem wise without being wise. The word Theuth uses for his elixir, pharmakon, means remedy. It also means poison, the same word. One bottle, 2 labels, and no one gets to read the true label until after they have drunk it. The king was right. Watch it happen. Fewer boys come to train, because why give 20 years of your life to carrying what a mark can hold? The singer's best apprentice learns letters instead. At night, by the fire, he still sings. But the circle around him grows thinner every year. By the time the singer is old, he is a curiosity at festivals. Something quaint, the last of something, and he knows it. But the king was also wrong. At some point, no one knows how. Someone sat down across from a singer like ours and took the war at Troy down, line by line. That is the only reason you have ever heard of Homer. Writing carried the songs through more than 2,500 years of fire and flood, and carried the laws, the proofs, the medicine with them. And here's the part almost nobody notices. The warning itself survives for one reason. Plato wrote it down. Socrates, who distrusted books, published nothing. Every word of his you have ever read comes through other men's pens. The poison preserved the warning against the poison. One bottle, two labels. Which brings the story to you. The singer's distant descendant now sits in the glow of a screen and asks a machine to remember everything. Names, roots, facts, and lately, some of the thinking too. But here's the part you need to hear. In 2025, researchers at MIT ran a small experiment. 54 people, not yet peer-reviewed, so hold it gently. Students wrote essays with an AI while their brains were watched. The ones using the AI showed measurably weaker connections across the brain. Most could not quote their own essay minutes after finishing it, and when the tool was later taken away, their engagement stayed dimmed, as if something borrowed had come due. The researchers gave it a name: cognitive debt. The king's verdict, 24 centuries on. So do we just refuse the tool? You already know the answer. The singer's songs only survive because somebody didn't. Writing, print, the search bar. Now this, the same bargain, offered again and again. The tool carries something for you, faithfully, and whatever it carries, you slowly stop carrying. That is the whole deal. Nobody is hiding the price. But the ancient skill was never refusal, it was choosing. Some of what your mind holds is cargo, safe to load onto the cart, and some of it is load-bearing. Take it out, and what is left standing isn't quite you. So the next time you reach for the machine, there is one question worth keeping. What is this doing to the one who leans on it? Load the cargo, but keep something on the inside. A poem, a phone number, the way home. Niceratus carried Homer, and no one thought it was strange, because a mind, like a singer, is made of what it carries.